G'day, it's Bruce from the Joinery Coach, coming at you again with one of these fast and furious, intriguing videos. I've been getting so many inquiries lately from all kinds of businesses that run joinery businesses and closet businesses and shop fitting businesses. It's just such a busy time of year, isn't it? And everybody's running their business and just sort of going crazy with things, going, how can we make this different? How do we get better results this year? So I'm getting tons and tons of inquiries from all kinds of people, which is fantastic. A lot of people are saying, look, we'd like to do something next year. And of course, my answer to that is the sooner you start, the sooner you get the benefits. So don't let anything put you off, whether it's with me or whether it's with someone else. So certainly don't put off starting improvements in your business just because you're a little busy. But the other inquiries that I'm getting is they're saying, hey, Bruce, I'd really like to learn a little bit more about what you do in business and what does your program actually look like. So I thought what I'd do today is I put together a little bit of a quick visual model of what my coaching practice looks like, or your coaching improvements will look like, so that you can get maybe a little bit of a visual idea of what we're doing and how it might help you. Visuals are always great. In these visual models, I have to give credit where credit is due. My coach, Tacky Moore, and another wonderful gentleman by the name of Simon Bowden have created these wonderful visuals for business modeling that I'm using today. So full credit to them for their genius in how they're coming up with these models. But we're going to use this today just to sort of give you a bit of an overview as to what a coaching program in your business would do and how it would help solve your business regardless of what stage or phase your business is at. So for those of you that don't know me, this is my beautiful family, my wife, Samantha, my three awesome kids, Riley, my son, and my daughters, Taryn and Stevie. I'm just so proud of my family and what they represent for me is a really full life. We live here in Melbourne, and we just we live a really full and wonderful life. Yeah, so there's my kids. There's a little bit about me. I'm a real person with real human issues, not just a name behind the Joinery Coach. The other question I get quite a bit is, what have you done in the industry? What's your history like? So I just thought I'd do a bit of a quick collage of pictures on a page. These are some of the photographs over the years. I started out like a lot of cabinet makers. I started out with my own business. Was in business with my father for a few years briefly, and but mostly, I've worked in the cabinet industry. 2003, I sold my last kitchen cabinet manufacturing business, and I got into consulting, training with Planet. And since that time, I've had the luxury of working with hundreds and hundreds of businesses, and that's given me a really unique insight as to what the common denominators are in the really successful businesses. And what I bring to the table for every one of my clients is just that. I bring to the table what the common denominators are in the successful joinery businesses. I help you try and avoid the common denominator in the unsuccessful ones, and meet somewhere in the middle. And that's a luxury that most cabinet business owners or joinery business owners haven't had the luxury to go around to literally hundreds of different joinery businesses and just sort of have a look and see what's happening out there and stay ahead of the trend. I do that for a living. I visit cabinet and joinery businesses, almost a new one every day, it seems. And with every client that I take on board, I bring all of that experience and insight to the table so that you can have it without having to go out and visit all these businesses. So that's a quick background on what I do, what I have done, and what I do now. So really what we want to do for your business, and the theme for this month is we want to get you so you've got more sizzle and less sausage. A lot of cabinet businesses and joinery business owners talk about the cabinets and their designs and what they do. They talk about their product for so long, and really what we need to do is we need to get the sizzle happening. We need to get the businesses sizzling so that you can thrive and grow and have all those wonderful things that you want to have in business. So my theme right now is we want to have more sizzle and less sausage. So what does a coaching system look like? Well, I think first of all we have to understand business and understand the stages and the phases that your business might either be going through or might be in. So I'm not the best artist in the world, but I will do my best to draw this for you so that maybe this will make a little bit of sense and resonate with you. Most of us in business had a reason for being in business. We started business because we had a desire to be our own boss. We had a desire to set our own path in life, whatever those reasons were. I'm sure you had one of those reasons, so much so that you went out and started your own business and took all those risks associated with it. And you might have been doing this for quite a few years, but at some point you had made a decision to go off and start your own business. That's a big step. Usually big steps are driven by big passion. So there's usually something behind that. What I normally say is that usually can be defined as saying we wanted to achieve true wealth in life. And however you define what true wealth is, it doesn't always have to be $1 million in the bank. It can be, I want to have the ability to pick my kids up from school, or drop them off from school, or have coffee on Wednesday with my wife, or whatever it is. That might be what true wealth is to you. And I think across all of us, that's the common denominator. We all have some definition of what that is. And I'd like to help you achieve that. So what we're doing here is we're going to try and determine what stage you're at in business, so we can kind of determine what problems you might need to solve, or what issues you might need to work through. A lot of business owners who haven't grown over the years are at a stage where they really feel like they need to receive something back from the business. You go through a stage for a long time, especially in the early startup stages, where you give everything to your business. You give your life, you give your blood, your sweat, your tears to your business. And really what you want to do is you want to do that for a period of time, but you don't want to do it for too long. And eventually you get to a point where you say, look, I've got to start receiving something back from my business. And that's the first stage of after startup. You really want to get to the point where the business feels like it has some momentum behind it, and you start receiving something back personally. And that might be financial, it might be time, it might be anything. But we're working towards you actually achieving whatever your definition of true wealth is. In order for that to happen, you've got to start receiving something after giving for so long. That's usually the first stage. The second stage is once you get to a point where the business is working quite well, most humans actually feel like they want to give back. And that's a really wonderful place in life to be in, where you're supported so well and things around you are working so well that you actually feel like you want to give back. And give back might be to your family, your friends, it might be to your church, or it might be to your organizations that you support. But once you get into that giving mindset, we know that you're on the road to doing some great things. The final stage in very successful businesses that I've certainly been involved with is the owners then can achieve the personal freedom that they're searching for. So those are sort of the three phases that I find most businesses in. Your business will be in one of those phases or stages, and the task at hand really is to determine which one of those phases you're in. So if you happen to be at a stage where you want to feel like you're receiving something back from the business, usually that means that we need to stabilize your business. So if any of this means something to you, you can't leave the business for even a week or a few days, certainly not a few months, without you feeling like the business is going to collapse. Or you absolutely have to sell the next job that comes through the door and every job after that because you need the cash to come into the business. If any of those things sound like how you're feeling or how your business is operating right now, it probably means your business is unstable. We have to solve those problems so you can move on to the next stage. The next stage of business really is growth. You want your business to be in growth stage, and you want to be able to move from an unstable to a stable business so that we can move into the growth phase of business. And the final stage of business from growth is really thriving. So once you get your business growing from an unstable business to growing, and then from growth into thrive, you're moving very, very close to your position of true wealth. Now, here's the danger. If we don't get you to move from an unstable business to a growing business, the danger is that really you'll have no life. And you might be starting to feel some of that now if you're in this stage, where you've given and given and given so much of your life that there's nothing left. And that's the reason why we have to keep moving through these stages, is because the danger is if you don't, certainly at this stage here, you'll end up with no life. And if we don't get you to move from the growth stage over to the thrive stage of business, the danger of that is ultimately you will have no money. And that's a terrible thing. That's a terrible position to be in. And if we can't get you to go into the thrive stage and stay there, what ends up happening is you have no future. So those are the real dangers if we don't actually keep your business flowing through into the next stages. You certainly want to get your life back, and you certainly want to make sure that you're earning the wealth, because cash flow in the business is very, very important. And you want to make sure that you secure a future for your business. So not moving through those phases will certainly risk all of those things not happening for you. Now, some of the other areas on the outer side of this really start to describe how we can do this together. So again, depending on which phase you're in business. So if we do a little bit of fancy coloring in here, let's just say that the true wealth in the center of this diagram is really what you want to achieve, and the outer areas are what we call the petals, and those are the phases of your business that we want to take you through in a real strategic way that creates a foundation for your business to be stable and growing for you for a long period of time. So those are the stages. Now, if in fact your business is in this first phase, if your business is in this first phase where it's, let's say, relatively unstable and really needs some punch to it to get it going, there's a number of things we do with businesses in this stage, but they're very clear and they're very specific. The first stage might be we need to look at your marketing strategy and get the sales happening in your business in a real strategic way. That usually means that we're bringing cash into the business better than it ever was before. We do that with one of our programs that we call the cash flow maximizer. Now, the cash flow maximizer is a proven system to get cash flowing into your business from the right customers in a really solid way that brings in the money that you need from the right customers without any hesitation. So once we get you through that system, one of the other areas that we really need to work on, usually with businesses that are in this instability or unstable mode, is we want to look at how we can build your profit. So we look at pricing and your quoting system, and we do that with a system called Profit Builder. Builder Blueprint. These are all systems that we've built over the years, and many hundreds, in fact, joinery businesses are using these systems to their great benefit. And the third area, typically with businesses that need to be stabilized, is we need to look at how we can create your business structure so that you actually have an ability to scale your business. There tends to be a lot of bottlenecks in a joinery business, such as can you actually get the work installed? You can build the work faster in many cases, but maybe the site work is actually your bottleneck. So we look at ways that maybe we can make products that don't need to be installed, and that is a way that we can start creating your business so that it will scale without the barriers that are currently in place. And we do that with a system called the Joinery Builder Advantage. And again, that's a system that we work through that puts a permanent fix in this problem or in this area of your business, so that then we can move from an unstable business to a stable business, and then we move into true growth in your business. Hopefully that's making some sense to you. The next phase of business, of course, is growth phase. And once we get your business into growth phase, there's a few things that we find that need to happen in that stage of business. One of those things is, with growth comes more product, and we really need to look at your factory flow. And what that means is we need to make sure that you're getting your work done on time, without any errors, without any mistakes, and just keep things flowing. And a lot of this is founded in lean methodologies. I deliver lean manufacturing and have done for many, many years. And I've developed a system around lean that is tailored for the joinery business in a specific way that we use the best of lean, and we don't use some of the fluff and some of the highly technical things that we don't need to use. So this is really just found in a joinery lean system. And the other areas that we find when we get joinery business into a true growth phase is we need to look at the culture. Oops. Because you're going to be relying on your team in your business to scale and grow your business. And if your team culture is not in a way that's going to help you do that, then we're really going to have some problems getting your business to scale and grow from there. And the third area that we look at when we're in your growth phase is we look at your customers' experience. That's a really important thing, because if your customers are experiencing bad work or bad customer service or anything on that end of it, we can usually overcome that in the first stage by getting the amount of work, getting new customers every time, but eventually that runs its course. And if your existing customers are not happy, they tend to tell their friends, and that will have a very detrimental effect on your business in a relatively short period of time. So that's, if your business happens to be in this growth phase where you've gone and you've got a fairly stable business, but now you're really looking to grow your business and scale, there's 2 or 3 things within that area of your business that we would start working on. Now, if your business is going really, really well, but you just want to tune a few things up, that's usually when we're in the thrive mode. And there are things that we typically look at there, such as, let me outline this so it looks like the other side. And so a thriving business, oops, let's not use red, let's use blue. So a thriving business in this third of our model here. A thriving business, what we need to look at typically in this phase in business is innovation. And making sure that innovation, by way of how your business operates, is knitted into the fabric of everything you do. And we see big businesses all around us, Dick Smith and Kodak, if you go back a few years, and all these businesses that really have failed, in my opinion, simply because they're lacking innovation. And innovation doesn't exist just in this section of your business. It needs to exist in your marketing and your pricing and virtually everywhere in your business. But once you get into this stage of business, it's particularly important that you stay on top of the new trends and the next way of innovating how you're doing things. Otherwise, you're going to hear the whoosh of your competitors going past you, and you're going to be stuck in the mud. So we really, really pay attention to innovation when businesses are in this stage. The other thing that we really look at is making sure that time, I'll just switch this pen over to a black color so you can see it a little bit better. We switch over to time versus tasks. And this is essentially geared to the business owners, making sure that you get your time back. Because when we get you into this stage of thriving in business, that's where you're really getting close to achieving the true wealth that you're after. And that true wealth typically means that you don't actually have to be in the business anymore. The business doesn't need you. And that can sound really terrible, but ultimately, if we want to create a profitable investment from your business, you might still love being in it. You might still want to do that. But for your business to be an investment, it can't need you to be there. It can't require you to be part of it. Being part of it might be a benefit to the business, but it might also be a benefit for you to go on a 6-month holiday. That's a benefit to you, and it might be a benefit to the business. So this is an area that we've developed and perfected with a lot of business owners, and this is basically a system that we call our task planning navigator. Apologize for my terrible writing, but hopefully you get the idea. So the task planning navigator will take you in this stage to a point where we look at all the tasks that you need to do and narrow them down to the requirement only, only the required tasks, and maybe none of them are required. The third area we really start having a look at is your cash flow, your budgets, and how that's flowing, because we want to make sure 100% certain that once you get your business into this mode, which is where it's really running at its peak, we want to make sure that your cash flow doesn't become a real problem at this stage and kill all the good work that you've done so far. So that in a nutshell is a little bit of a breakdown of what our business coaching models typically look like, but essentially they're geared to you. They're geared to what you need in business. So regardless of where your business is at, whether your business is in this growth phase, or whether it's in thrive phase, or whether we just need to get you out of this instability, this chaos all the time, jobs not going on time, whatever the stage of your business, we tailor the program to suit your needs and to solve the problems that you have at that given point in time. And then we take you through to the next stages from there. Hopefully that's given you a little bit of an insight as to what a coaching program from the Joinery Coach looks like. And if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call. You can book a call from my website just going to the About Us page, and there's a drop-down menu that says book a call. It's a fantastic way of getting a hold of me. Send me an email, text, social media, anything you feel like. Always happy to talk to you, but hopefully that sums up a little bit about what we do and what I do when coaching joinery businesses, and maybe answer some questions. And yeah, give me a call and look forward to hearing from you. Bruce from the Joinery Coach. Have a great day.